Hello crafty friends, it's Jess from jesscrafts.com, and today I'm here with a revamp of a previous One Sheet Wonder. So I've shared One Sheet Wonder number 9 in the past, and I had a original sketch for it, but that measurement, the 2x3 rectangles that I used, I thought it could be mixed up in a different way and create a little bit different of a look with the same measurements. So I've redone the PDF, and you will find that there are 2 sketches now, even though there's just the one cutting template. Of course, always feel free to mix up any of the One Sheet Wonders into whatever sketch you like. I just like to give a sketch, like an idea of how I would assemble those pieces. But of course, if you assemble them in a different way, you'll still have used up a sheet of paper with no scraps. That's the premise behind the One Sheet Wonder, is you will create 2, sometimes more, sometimes it's only 1, but usually it's 2 cards with 1 sheet of 6x6 paper and no scraps. I do some different sizes, but my A2s are traditionally 2 cards every time. Sometimes when I do like slim lines, you only get 1 card. Anyway, I'm working with the Spellbinders Christmas Traditions collection, and I have the Christmas Traditions paper pad as well as the Christmas time sentiments. Spellbinders reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in working with some of the products from this collection, and when I saw the pattern paper, I thought it would be perfect for showcasing some One Sheet Wonders while getting some Christmas cards done. One of the things that I love about One Sheet Wonder number 9 is that all the measurements are the same for the different pieces. So they're all 2x3 rectangles, which means all the mats are the same, and you only have to make a small number of cuts. So this is great when you're trying to make a lot of cards like you might want to at Christmas time. I am going to show some extra embellishment, but you could simplify these cards to make them even faster to assemble if you wanted to. When I work with when I try to make a bunch of cards at one time, which is what I'm going to do here, because I did pick out 3 different patterns, and this is a single-sided pattern paper pack. I picked 3 different patterns because there are 3 different rectangles on the card sketch. So therefore, if I cut 3 pattern paper pieces and each one makes 2, I'll have 6 cards in all. I think there are 2 of each design in the set, which means that you could even go further and double that and make 12. In order to add a little bit of interest, I'm going to be stamping from that Christmas time sentiment. It includes 5 sentiments and this beautiful snowflake. So I knew that I would have a lot of purposes for these very simple sentiments that are on the front, and I do like that there's 2 that specifically say Merry Christmas, and there are 2 that are more sort of general holiday sentiments, and that always works out well for me because I like to donate my cards, and I'll mention a little bit more about that at the end. But here, since I'm going to assemble a whole bunch of them, I am using my MISTI to stamp so that I can stamp each panel in the same place. I want to stamp it such that there's going to be 3 snowflakes hanging off of each panel to create a frame around the sentiment. And I pick where I want the snowflake to be on one of the panels, then I can just insert the next panel in and stamp all 6 of them at one time. I'm going to stamp with a red ink to contrast with the green paper. And the green paper of the ones that I chose for this has the least going on. Like, it's great for sentiments because even though there's a little bit of pattern to it, it's not going to compete with the sentiment. But this pattern paper pack has a lot of really pretty patterns and has some gold foiling. It can be a little bit more tricky to stamp on top of gold foiling, so I would generally suggest if you're going to do some stamping to pick one of the patterns that doesn't have it and then use a pattern with the gold foiling as an accent. To coordinate with that gold foiling that is part of this pattern paper pack, I decided to heat emboss my sentiment. And it's going to be the same thing here where I will be able to position it on one panel and then stamp them all. So I've picked out where I want my sentiment to be, lined it up in my MISTI. Then I am using Versamark ink to stamp it down here in the center. But then I can go on to the next panel. I will stamp it and then sprinkle the powder on and put it off to the side and not heat emboss them all Now, this one here, I am going to do the whole process in one go just so that you can see it. But for the rest of them, I just sprinkle on the embossing powder and I set them aside. And that way I'm able to heat emboss all 5 of them at one time. And it makes everything go just a little bit faster. And also that my heat gun is already warmed up, because if you just turn on your heat gun right away and start trying to emboss, the embossing powder won't start melting, but it might start warping your paper. So just something to keep in mind. And if you have some experience with heat embossing, it's a pretty common thing. I'm going to assemble the cards, but when I use this sketch, instead of using it as a horizontal card, I'm going to make instead of a vertical card, I'm going to make a horizontal card. I made this sketch horizontal in part because it made it a little bit easier to fit into the PDF, but as you can see, you can just kind of turn everything on its side always as an alternative for the sketches. You don't have to make a vertical card if that's what I'm showing. I did add a little bit of cardstock scraps to prop up some of the panels just so that everything lays nice and flat, since they will be layering on top of each other. And then as you can see, I glued all that upside down. Luckily, I was able to salvage it, but I thought it was funny to keep that in there to show you, because it happens to all of us where you have this great idea and you're going, and then you do something like that. But I was able to just kind of peel off that last sentiment panel and turn it over, and it worked out. One last thing that I wanted to share with you is that if you are in need of something to put on the inside of your cards, if you go over to my blog, which will be linked because I'll have a coordinating blog post, you can download some free Christmas jokes that you can put inside of your cards. But there's also so many. You saw me flipping through those. Those are all the jokes that I've gathered. All kinds of themes, all kinds of holidays. I place them inside the cards and sign them. And then also on my blog, you'll be able to see that you can that you can find links to all kinds of organizations you can donate your cards to. So you can think about which organization suits the kind of card you're making or who you'd like to support, and follow those links. All right. So that is it for my card today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment or share this video. If you'd like to see more videos about how to use your supplies, such as One Sheet Wonder tutorials, please subscribe and click the bell to get notifications. I will link all the products I can in the video description and link you to my website where you can download any templates or get any more information. For even more inspiration, come find me on Instagram or check out these videos here at the end. Thanks so much for watching and have an amazing day.